Yeah, I'm feeling connected to my higher self. I always seem to find this version when I'm by myself. I had no problem being alone, but they tell me every king needs a throne. But I don't want no fancy chair crown, I want a home. Thought you wanted.
Hello, everyone. It's Julio Vasquez here. It's raining outside. And usually with rain, there comes chill. Today it's chilly, but not because of the rain. Because my boy Ice is with me again, baby. Ice. Episode what, man? I'm having fun with this thing. What episode?
That was pretty good. 23. Episode 23.
Okay. 23, man. I'm excited. I'm having fun. I was excited today. It's Thursday. Got done with workouts a little bit early. Feeling good. We finally locked down the 24 spots in the Noonan Nation tournament. So, we were talking about that for who knows how long. And I'm excited, man. Now you put the battery in my back. I'm stretching. I'm stretching. I've always stretched, but I'm stretching double duty now. Legs up on the wall every night to relieve the back, relieve the legs. I'm excited. Talk to me more about the tournament. Let me know where we're at. Good interview. Talk to me about it all.
Well, 2014 is definitely more teams than in previous 8 years. We usually have 20, but we wanted to try to expand it to 24. Really all it does is it's longer days in the gym for myself and Zach Blodgett and other guys,
just do me
other people that work it. Yeah, it's just longer day. But I also think, I made the decision too, because in years past, just the way we time slotted games was like an hour and 5 minutes. Like not that a game would go that long, but that's what you slotted it as. But as the 2 years that I've run it, I've noticed that most of the time we're always ahead of schedule. We're actually not like really behind because it's running clock.
Right.
And really you don't need, to warm up before a game, what I'm saying? You don't need 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Like that's what we used to, do. And I'm like, no, so I shortened the amount of time in between games. So it's really only hour blocks. And, if you go behind in a game, you usually make it up somewhere. I just feel like, because some games, if it's a blowout, the game's going to go quick. The clock's not stopping. So I don't know. I just felt like we could add, those 4 extra teams, because at the end of the day, our goal is to raise money. And we might actually have something that we're going to put out to the public of what all this, at least the last 2 years that we've been running it at St. Joe's, what we're going to use the money for in Clark's name. So that should be coming out hopefully maybe in the near future, because there's something that Coach Santacola and I discussed yesterday. So we're hoping that, we have something that people will know where all this money that we're raising is going, because we've been saving up the last 2 years. Obviously it sucked not having it last year, but
it's still the most well-run tournament I've been around. 2014 is a lot, baby. Shout out to Rob Santacola. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the supporters. Shout out to the referees who, they take a lot. It's a long day, man. Saturday is long.
Yeah,
long.
no, it's definitely.
I feel bad for you because I would want Maddie. You threw me under the bus. I'll do a couple of games.
No,
but it's a
you know what I mean.
day.
I was just trying to say the people that are there the whole day, and
Yeah,
I appreciate everybody that whatever chips in for 2 or 3 games. It's helps out a lot. It's a long day, and it's not like the best time to be in the gym from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. But it's worth it. It's worth it when the weekend's over. But yeah, I'm excited. 24 teams. It looks like it's a go, and just got to iron out some other details. But yeah,
let's go. I'm excited, man. Let's do it. Give me something to look forward to at the end of the month. Maybe we could sneak a pod in while we're out there. Whoa, that would be cool. That'd be a nice.
I probably would be like hallucinating from lack of sleep, but that's all right.
Hey, listen, that's why, man. You're the man. You do everything. That's what I'm just the talent in both areas. That's it.
It would be dope if we did like the podcast like while the tournament was going on. Like we were just upstairs on the track.
So breaking, guys. Now you know. Now you know we got something in the works.
Yeah, but that Wi-Fi is probably spotty.
If we want to figure it out, man, we can figure it out. There's a lot of good basketball going to be played.
Where did our tuition money go? Where did our tuition money go? Fix the Wi-Fi.
I know, fix that. Man, I should have a permanent code, right?
Oh,
A
dude, I
permanent
brought I'm gonna bring a speaker up there for for the pregame warm-up music because I don't really love the St. Joe speakers up there. They're kind of again spotty unless they got
Really?
new ones. Yeah, they're not great. And it's like you have to the way you connect to it, it's kind of crazy too. It's like through an aux cord, bro. It's 2021. Why are we still using aux?
You know what you can do too? Hey, for me, just do like an all instrumental playlist. All
Yeah,
instrumentals.
that's all you want.
Yeah, it's instrumentals, man. Instrumentals get you going. I don't know, man. I'll be in the shower, just throw instrumentals on, getting my game right.
Now I got a hoop playlist that I have, already.
Already done. That's right. You got
I just keep it
songs
going. Yeah, it's got like 300 songs. It's just music, new music, old music. I mean, old rap, I should say, but because I'm more of that kind of genre. I like the old school stuff more.
Yep. We can get into a whole pot about music.
It's just hard to edit the songs or find them edited, I should say.
I know
because it's not all on Apple Music. So
are there gonna be fans?
Yeah. So I expect there to be people are able to come and watch. There's no limit on how many people we can have in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be good. And yeah, I think mass won't be, we won't require mass. We'll just, say like where most things are is like, if you're not vaccinated, we recommend you wear a mask, but you don't have to wear one. That's up to you at this point.
Okay.
So
all right. Either way, I'm excited.
That's kind of the wording. Yeah, it's good. It'd be good to see people back in the tournament and just, since we had a year off of it. So exciting times. Just always hope that everything runs smoothly. That's when you're running it. That's all you can hope for.
That's good. That's right, brother. I mean, like I said, hell of a job. Thanks to everyone who supports it. It's definitely a great weekend for everyone. Moving on. Bucks Suns game 2. What do we got?
Yeah.
Talk to me. I think it's Suns in 5.
We're recording this on
the day of
Thursday, so this doesn't come out till this will come out next week. So
game 2.
If you're listening to this, you will probably be in game 3 or 4 would probably even have. But immediate reaction after game 1, not really surprised. I think the only surprising thing was like, is Giannis, was that knee? Is he like a freak? Does he not have knee ligaments? Because he didn't look hurt.
In and out, one bounce, get off me, dunk on you with 2 hands. That was nasty.
It was nasty, but he just has he literally has zero skill. Like it's hard for me to look at that team and be like, all right, this is like a Giannis led team. I honestly think Chris Middleton's the best player on the team. I've come to that conclusion.
Yeah, you like,
or the most important, I should say. Maybe best is a stretch, but
you better be good. You got $180 million. You better be good. You better perform in the playoffs, brother. Someone once told me that is he top 5 twos in the league?
I think this year he's putting up a case to be, I guess, because I wouldn't have said that prior to this year. I would have said no, he's not. But you could argue that. I mean, he's carried this. I think he's carried this team. I don't think,
Yeah.
You could say Giannis is the best player. I think the offense runs better if they gave the ball. I hate how they run the offense through Giannis. I really do.
I mean,
I don't know if you agree with that, but
I
think Drew Holiday should have the ball. I think that's what Drew Holiday does best, and I don't like how he plays off the ball because I don't think Giannis is that good, like in the sense of being a point forward where he's like LeBron. He can't pass like that. He just doesn't have that skill.
Yeah, it's true. He doesn't have any skill. He's just one of the best athletes
of all time. He's a freak. Yeah.
So, do you think that the Bucks take out Brook Lopez and start playing some small ball? Put him at the 5. They were mixing him.
I was gonna say that's gotta be your adjustment. You have to. The problem is though, Giannis has to guard Ayton because I think the Suns are so good is they almost are playing small ball in the sense because Ayton is just really athletic and he was guarding Giannis. So
I know
having Brook Lopez out there, man, it's just like I told you in the last pod, bro. He's just really slow. Like he does his thing. He was doing his thing on offense, whatever, but he can't check anybody on the perimeter. I mean, Chris Paul literally dribbled to the elbow,
without
any pressure because Brook Lopez just kept backing up. I'm like, what is he doing? Like he's on an island. They gotta get off that. I mean, and so was Bobby Portis, man. What was he doing? My Lord. You see that possession where Chris Paul mixed him and he came back down and tried to hit a bomb. Like took a terrible shot. Like almost to be like that's like a pickup move. Like you get burnt and then you're like, all right, I gotta come down, hit this. Like so it's like a battle. Bro, he bricked that shit bad. I was like, oh boy, take him out.
No one's battling with Bobby Portis, bro. No one's trying to go at you and you can't go back at anyone, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, the guards though from the Suns, they just look good. They looked really good. Dev looked tough, really good. I think Chris Paul. If the Suns win in 5, like I predict, Chris Paul is going to win it. He can average 16 points from here on out. He's going to win the MVP. Let's just say that.
Yeah, listen, I think it's political. Yes, you're right.
Political, man.
He'd have to play pretty. He'd have to play pretty bad for him not to get it. And by me saying that, I should say, if he's playing bad, I don't think the Suns win. Like he's got to keep playing at least, maybe not to 30 points a night, but like you said, even if he plays solid and averages like 18 the rest of the way,
he won't. I don't know if he will, but if it's like an easy toss, not an easy toss, but if it's a toss up between Dev and
they're gonna give it to CP3.
It's all and it's
Dev would have to go crazy. He'd have to go crazy.
Yeah, because you know what, for those basketball, everybody wants to talk analytics. I'm not one of those, but who's the most efficient on that team?
Booker.
You think?
Even though Chris Paul was pretty efficient game 1,
but not even just in regards to those two. I'm talking about Ayton.
Oh, he was he was great. He was great.
He's been great all playoffs.
Yeah, he's honestly probably been their most important player just because like I didn't think he was at the level he was at this quick.
Me too.
But I will say, and I think we've had this comment. Chris Paul makes bigger guys look better too. Like DeAndre Jordan has not been the same player since he was on the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Chandler was at his his height when he was with Chris Paul. And I get it, like you said, ball dominant point guard, but he just plays really well in the pick and roll and just can really set up big guys in that pick and roll game. So
it sounds like I'm hating on CP. I don't.
I know you don't. I understand your points. Yeah. I understand your point. It is political. It is very political.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he wins it. He wins it. He'll people could throw him on the Mount Rushmore of point guards. You can do that. You can do that.
You know what really bothers me though when Giannis is shooting free throws? I know we talk about like I still don't understand. I don't understand why it's a rule for 10 seconds. They should just change the rule now because they don't call it. So like I'm not a person that like cares how long you take to shoot a free throw, but if that's the rule, shouldn't you call the rule? But then again, they say in the NBA, 2 steps is 3 steps is a travel, and they let people take 3 steps. So I don't know. It's just like
Do you see a clock when they put up 10 seconds, or is it?
No, I legit count.
Oh, you count. Okay.
I count like I'm a ref. It's more. He shoots like it's 11, 12 seconds every time.
He's just shooting. Like
and the thing is, like you know what I don't understand. If you're gonna take 12 seconds to shoot a free throw, could you make it? Why doesn't he just take it, bounce it, shoot it, or just? I mean, he's missing it anyway, 50% of the time. Like he's awful at the line.
I know.
So now you're gonna. And I feel like now it's playing into the fans more because they all yell and count how many seconds. So I feel like it's like not helping his case too, like mentally, because obviously there's something up there mentally. Because there's times he cashes like 2 in a row, and then the next free throw he takes, he airballs it. How have you ever made a free throw and then the next one you literally don't hit anything at all? Like that is bananas. As Skippy Karen would say, I wouldn't shoot an airball in a hurricane.
Shout out to Skippy, man. God, I remember that one.
That's a classic.
He said that's a classic. But you're right, man. No, you're right. I mean,
that's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, they got this far. I think we should just, pay homage because the Suns are winning in 5. You know what I mean? It don't matter.
I got them in 6, but yeah, I think tonight's a big game because you go back. If you're Milwaukee in any of these 7-game series, you defend home court. But if you defend home court, now that puts pressure on Milwaukee. They have to win 2 back. So I think if Milwaukee could win tonight, that would definitely change the outlook of the series, making it 1-1, because then you put the pressure back on, Phoenix, because then they have to go there and win one in Milwaukee. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of do you like the format where it's 2-2, 1-1-1, or do you like it back when I forgot when they changed it. I think
Good question.
Crap. I
Two,
know
three,
when the
two?
Celtics in 08 they still had it was 2-3-2. What do you like?
I like the 2-2-1-1-1. I like
Yeah.
it. I mean, we don't travel. We just watch them. So
Correct.
yeah,
I was just
I
asking
don't
from
from a
I
fan
don't know,
point.
fan. Yeah, I know you don't travel. I wasn't even talking about the players. I don't really care about them. I'm just saying, what do you think was a better?
I don't know. I like it because I like with the Clippers, they had to go back home and win it. Kind of like give them a momentum. That the momentum was on their side, and then they went home. They could have
Yeah,
brought it
I
to
agree with
7.
that.
I like that. I like that.
I think I really agree with it because I think Game 5 is usually. I think in a series, where did I read it? It was either Game 2. I can't remember what the first one was, but Game 5 is obviously like a very important game in the series. It's usually like the swing game, especially if
Yeah.
it's 2-2. But yeah, I would agree with that. I like it. Because in the other one, right? If you're the lower seed, you go in the first 2 games and split a game. You could
You're
close
good.
out on
Yeah.
home court. You have 3 games in a row. Now, if you don't, then you have to go play 2 on the other end. But I don't know. I do like the 1-1-1.
It pays. I guess, like you said, it pays favor to the guest team. I feel like if you were an underdog,
I just, what I've liked though in these playoffs, and I'd like to go look at the stats. I haven't done it, but I personally have enjoyed. There's more randomness, I guess, to the winning. Like usually in an NBA series, 90% of the time the home team wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this playoffs it's been so different. Like I remember the Dallas Clippers series. I don't even know if a team won a home game, which I just thought was so different and cool because I used to just check off everything as a win. Like, all right, they're home. That's a win.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
but I feel like even Atlanta's done that. Atlanta's gone on the road and won some big games. So obviously that Game 7 in Philly, that was good. I like that, and I feel like it hasn't been like that in a while.
Yeah, think about the Knicks. They stink. So guess what happened? We lose the first game of the first playoff home game in I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just sucks the life out of you too.
It does. It's
it's terrible. So I like it. It's fun. Playoff basketball, man. It's almost over, but it's been great. It's really been good. Man.
Yeah, it's definitely been better than playoffs in the past. And maybe it's just because it's Phoenix and Milwaukee. I mean, when the hell did you ever think these 2 franchises would be in the NBA Finals?
We can get to this interview with Sam Leal. Maddie, it's been a hell of a ride. Let's get into this interview.
All right, now welcome on the pod is a guest that Julio and I have actually played in college, which I think is pretty unique. I don't know if we've had a guest like that, but we're thankful that Sam Leal, the head coach of UMaine Farmington, is joining us today. So, Sam, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I just think it's cool that we did play against each other, which does seem like a long time ago. It makes me feel old. It makes me feel old. But I guess I wanted to start, Sam, kind of talk to us, which I actually thought was cool, is that I read that because I was trying to find out some information about where you played in high school and all that, because I obviously know your college career, but so you actually went to Berwick High School, correct, for a year?
Yeah, my dad started coaching there probably when I was in 7th grade. So he was there for a couple seasons. And you know this, when you get those private school jobs, you get just unlimited access to those gyms. So it was really cool. We had a ton of great pickup over at Berwick Academy. It was about 15 minutes from my house in York. And I always say this, though, it was one of my, I guess, high school regrets is that our 3 best players from our town all went to 3 different high schools our freshman year. One to Governor's Academy, one to Exeter, and then myself to Berwick Academy. And I really wish we all just stuck together and played for our town. But yeah, I went there my freshman year, and my dad ended up stopping coaching there after my first year. Too much of a hockey school for him.
Yeah, definitely is. Well, I thought the reason I brought that up is because the school I, coach and teach at right now, Pike School in Andover, we actually play Berwick's like middle school teams in sports. So I thought that was kind of cool when I read that. I didn't know of anybody that had gone there. So when I saw that, I thought that was pretty cool.
Super grateful. A couple of my best friends are from there, Tell White and Harry Rafferty, both guys that played for 4 years at Berwick.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And both college ball players.
So when you went back to York high school, did your dad coach there, or you just kind of went back to your town?
Yeah, I was just going back to our town high school. So it was, for me, I was actually thrilled to be able to rejoin just my friends that I had played with all growing up. We had a really great group. Played for Rick Brault my sophomore season, and then 2 years with Randy Small my junior and senior season. I was an early bloomer, so I was a 4-year varsity starter, if you will. But points per game stayed the same from freshman year to senior year, which I think is unique and not quite like Matt's college career, where it was always trending upward.
That's consistency, coach. That's consistency. That's what that is, baby.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we had a fun run. My sophomore year was probably 3 to 4 of us sophomores that were starting on varsity. So we obviously didn't win too many games that year, but our junior and senior year, we were able to compete with some of the better teams in our league, which was Cape Elizabeth and Falmouth. And then going to Farmington, which is a cool part about our school, is that it's a collection of some of the best players from all around the state. So all of your opponents that you're playing throughout high school and battling against in your high school career, you kind of pair up and team up and become teammates and try to make a run while you're in college. So I love playing in Maine. Maine high school basketball's got some great coaches. This might be a sidetrack, but I forget, in Mass, are Massachusetts high school coaches able to coach during the summer?
No, it's a good question. No, we're not. So funny thing is, one summer my high school went up to St. Joe's my senior year of high school. We went and played a bunch of Maine teams like in a scrimmage, and it was odd because they were getting coached by their coach, and my coach had to sit, in the gym and not coach, even though I think he technically was coaching, but you're not supposed to. Yes. So to answer your question, no, you're not. We can't coach like that in Maine. So I do think that's a cool thing, even though I think it's a stupid rule. I feel like Mass should adopt Maine's rule.
Yeah, they get 5 weeks, and it's awesome. I mean, the top programs do just such a good job of creating opportunities for their players that want to buy into a great summer grind. And I mean, some of the top programs, they open the gym in the morning for their top players that want to come in and lift and get shots up in the morning, and then they have games and practices in the evening. So it's just a really cool and accessible opportunity for these kids. So I think it's great. And we have great high school coaches in Maine.
The one thing I would say about Maine high school basketball that I got to be a part of and like watch as a spectator, probably when I was up in school, Maine, I think we watched like an EL game because my buddy James Philbrook is obviously an alum from there. It was really cool experience just being in one of the state games. Like the atmosphere is pretty wild. It's pretty electric, Maine high school basketball. Yeah. The one thing I wanted to ask you though, like now being a college coach, and obviously you were a Maine high school basketball player, Maine college basketball player, now a coach. Like, do you feel like that Maine high school basketball has to like figure it out in the sense of like the shot clock? Do you think it really affects kids that are trying to transition from high school to college in Maine?
I think everyone should have a shot clock, no doubt about it. Because I mean, just you see it time and time again in the postseason. Just that the winning formula is like, if you can play 4 corners and you have 2 really good guards, and you pull that defense all the way out that deep. I mean, it's impossible to guard 2 players when you have to extend out just to apply some pressure so that they do something. So yeah, the shot clock for sure. I do think overall Maine high school basketball has a lot of really good players all across the state. And I think there's a kid that's going to Thomas College. It's a perfect example of, it's not about where you play. He's who came from Forest Hills, Class D school. It's not about where you play, but it's what you do where you are playing. And he dominated a Class D league up at Forest Hills, scored over 2,000 points, and just won over and over and over again. And people take notice. It doesn't matter that he's playing in the middle corner of, sorry, I should say corner of Maine up in Jackman. But if you're getting it done there, people are going to take notice, and college coaches from all across the state wanted to recruit him. So I do think there is talent in all of our different corners of the state, and the shot clock will help. And then obviously we don't have it as bad as Mass, but there will be a continued trend of the best talent getting picked up by prep schools. I mean, that's been happening in Mass since the mid to early 2000s probably, but it's definitely trending towards that way in Maine as well.
Yeah, which I don't like to hear, because I've always said it's pretty cool to represent your town, play for your city, town, whatever it is. And I mean, I get it. I get why kids leave, but I love public high school basketball. So I hope it, fights its way to, keep their best players.
Me too. To go back to what I opened with, my biggest regret of high school is that the three of our best players went to different schools our freshman year, and to be able to not just play together and represent our town and have a blast doing it, I think it would have been so much fun.
Maine really cares about their basketball. I mean, I was always, when I got up there, obviously I'm coming from the city, coach. So, obviously my first thoughts about going to Maine was, they didn't care about their basketball. But then as soon as I got up there, I think I went to a Bonnie Eagle game. And Bonnie Eagle was probably decent that year, but, the crowd, the neighborhood was around, and I think they were playing a rival. I think it was Deering or something. And it was just a good basketball game, like you said, well coached. The kids knew how to play the right way. And it's just interesting because also you guys carry that over with the AAU. I didn't know how it was during your time, but did you guys have, successful programs as you do now? I know the Renegades, right? The Renegades are pretty good. And some of those, I saw these two twins that are in 8th grade that are coming up this year, and they're tough, man. Like 6'9", 6'8" guys.
Cool.
You know who I'm talking about? Is it Cooper?
Flag brothers, Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Well, to get to your point about Maine, there's nothing else to do in the wintertime besides hoop. So.
I know. Stay inside, right?
Right. I kind of think we're like the New England, Indiana, that we love basketball. So we do really have great high school basketball. So it's really fun to be back a part of that and watching these kids grow and develop. AAU wise, I didn't really play much because I was a 3-sport athlete type of kid throughout high school. So I usually spent my spring and summers playing baseball. So I actually knew nothing about AAU until I started becoming a college coach and going to these things and recruiting. When I was growing up, the one team was MB Nation was the one good Maine AAU team. And there was basically all the kids from Maine on that one team. And now we have a whole variety. In the XL Thunder down in Saco, Maine, there's a big sports complex there, and the new guy in charge, Abby, is doing a terrific job with his programs too. So XL Thunder, I think you'll see quite a bit. Maine Renegades are solid, and that 8th grade team, I think that's a one-team thing where the parents of those kids are coaching.
Oh, okay.
And they're really special. One of the coaches is Andy Bedard, who is a Maine legend. I believe he played at Boston College. And so his son is on that team, as well as those two Flag brothers that are really good. I was up in Augusta 2 weeks ago, and the summer league is actually outdoors this summer. So you're just watching good high school basketball on these summer courts in Augusta. And then all of a sudden you get these two 6'8" kids from Nokomis High School, 8th graders, rolling up to the courts. And I mean, I'd never seen two guys look like that walking onto a court in Maine. So it was really pretty special to see them play up close and personal in their public school league,
Well, kind of getting back to you, why did you, when you were a senior in high school, what was your recruiting kind of process like? And then why did you choose Farmington?
Definitely wasn't recruited, Maddie.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Just asking.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I say this to people all the time too with recruiting. I mean, so much of it is the the players need to figure out what the best fit is for them,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I'm seeking out players to fit us. And I always wanted to be a teacher coach, and UMaine Farmington is one of the best in New England for developing teacher coaches. So I knew I applied to Farmington right off in the fall. My best friend from Cape Elizabeth High School, Andrew Dickey, also did. And I mean, we were already choosing to live with each other right around Christmas time of our senior year. So it was like, there was no recruitment of me. There probably certainly was recruitment of him, but
Yeah.
I knew I would be like unselfish enough to be able to find a role, and just one of my strengths as a player is just being the most conditioned and being unselfish to find what it is that I can do to make a team a little bit better. So Coach Meter wasn't calling me like crazy to come on up to Farmington and play ball, but I knew when I stepped on campus, I would hang out with the best players, find a way to make them better, and find my way onto the team and play, you know.
I mean, that's what kind of Julio and I were talking about before we started this pod, you know,
Yep.
talking about you, is that what I've always respected about you as a player is A, you have a high basketball IQ, and B, you really are a type of player that is special in the sense of, I kind of relate you to like James Philbrook. We always talk about like some guy will do whatever it takes to help a team, and he's fine with whatever role. And it's hard nowadays to get kids to want to buy into a role like that, because no one wants to be, you know, that guy. They want to be the guy, you know, scoring or whatever, you know what it is. So how did, you know, what was your mindset like? And, you know, is that something that's just innate in you, or, you know, you just learn to be like that? Because again, I think about your family, like, you know, we get in, your father, you know, has been a coach for I don't even know how many years, which was cool, by the way, not to go off topic, that he coached in Mass, because he coached in Gloucester, Mass, which is like literally 10 minutes from where I am. But and your brother, obviously a really good basketball player. So is that just innate in you to want to, you know, be a type of player like that, like to be able to accept the role and be like, I'm going to be the best I can in this role? Or
Yeah, I don't know when it kind of changed, because my freshman year on varsity, I was the highest scoring player on the team. But then when I went back to York, we played a style of basketball that really tried to control the pace. And so I just transitioned into this ultimate point guard kind of role, you know, and what is it that I can do to help make this team win in any circumstance. And I think that's always been, I mean, I think it's why I'm here as a coach right now, is that I'm insanely organized, insanely competitive, and always going to go the little extra mile to be able to get to where I want to get to. And that goes to anything I wanted to do for the team. And I think Jimbo was in the same boat as me, where he was far from a leading scorer for St. Joe's, but I believe he was captain of your team his senior year.
Yep.
And I was the captain at Farmington my junior and senior year. And you guys know I was not a starter on the team at all. But it reminds me of Monty Williams said this the other day about Chris Paul, is that like your best leaders are terrific followers too. And so I think like one of the best followers of my coaches always. Whatever the coach is saying, I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And if that was not to shoot the ball at a specific time, I was not going to shoot the freaking ball at a specific time. I was stubborn to almost a fault sometimes with doing exactly what the coach was asking us to do. And so I was a really good follower. And I think that really kind of showed in terms of I was always going to go the extra mile. So people are going to want to follow my lead, you know? So that kind of quote really resonates with me, is some of the best leaders are terrific followers, and they earn their respect by always following. So it's just always been who I was.
You have to follow before you can lead, right?
Absolutely. No doubt about that.
Coach, so you obviously, you know, we respected you at Farmington. You become the coach now, right? In the middle of COVID. You know, you guys come off of a hell of a season prior. What were you doing prior? Were you an assistant prior when you guys went on that? Was it 21-5? I think you guys went before.
Yeah, they were actually 22-6 the season before I got here. Yeah, so they were really good. I was at the championship game. I was coaching at Bates College at the time, and Coach Meter had announced his retirement pretty early on throughout the season. So Coach Furbush and I had been starting to prepare me for that interview process. So I was getting excited about what type of talent we were going to continue to have after that run. But yeah, I was at Bates the previous year, and we actually went up to Farmington. And don't think for a second, I haven't heard you guys talk shit about that trip up to the farm.
It's rough. It's rough.
It is
So,
rough.
Bates College, Tuesday night game, middle of winter, NESCAC weekend coming up. And we go up to Farmington, and Farmington ended up beating us by 2 in just an incredible game, 89-87. So as an assistant coach, I was on the losing end coaching Bates there the previous year before coming up here this year. So yeah, I haven't not heard that. I mean, you guys talk shit about that trip all the time.
It was not fun, bro. It was rough. That was an advantage.
I love to hear that.
Well, before going into like how you got the job at Farmington now, obviously you've put in the time. You were an assistant at Springfield, I believe, right, and at Bates. Kind of talk about how demanding of a job an assistant is at a D3 college.
Yeah, I think it's the only profession where you're screaming at your family to convince them that this $4,000 job is the greatest opportunity that you'll ever have in your whole life.
Yep.
So yeah, I taught actually at Greeley High School for 2 years, and I was just raising money basically to want to try to get into coaching and save up a little bit. And I applied to Springfield the previous year, didn't get it. And then that following year, so my second year of teaching at Greeley, I applied again. Never even heard back or anything, but I'd been playing a ton of basketball with Class Acts, and Coach Furbush, who was always an opponent playing with Prompto in all these men's leagues, ran into Coach Brock at Springfield down at the Final Four, and somehow my name was dropped just in terms of what I can bring to the table in terms of like consistency and work ethic, and then my phone's ringing in that summer for Coach Brock inviting me down to Springfield College, and I'm absolutely thrilled. And to convince my family that I got to leave this great paying job as a high school math teacher and all these different things to go make $4,000, earn a master's degree. And what else is really cool about that Springfield job is that you're like a teaching fellow. So I was able to continue to teach, and I was teaching the phys ed students how to teach sport and basketball in their classes. And I had a ton of fun with that too. So teaching and coaching has always been what I've been chasing. When I was in high school, I'm sure you guys had this, but like you have your phys ed teachers that have student assistants. Every study hall possible, I was a student assistant for the phys ed teachers. At Farmington, we have required PE courses for students, all students at Farmington. And I was teaching those as my work study job because I love doing that. I love teaching and coaching. And so I dropped everything teaching and jumped right into the grind of $4,000 a year assistant coach life, it's so much fun. And one of my favorite parts about it is that you're just constantly surrounded by people that think, which is probably stupid the way we think. We're just like so excited about chasing these goals and aspirations that we just do it consistently. And you're just surrounded by that with all these talented assistant coaches all over the country, and then also talented head coaches. So you get to meet some great friends while you're on that assistant coach grind, and you're all on the same journey together. And then always putting your best self for your players that you're coaching at that school too. So it's really, really fun. I would never trade it for anything else, but you do need support from family of some sort to be able to drop everything and get into it. It's a really not financially stable career.
I wanted to.
Sorry,
I got dreams of coaching at the college level. Now you're screwing up, man. I'm kidding. Coach, so I wanted to ask you, obviously now that you're a head coach, but I mean, as you've been an assistant at these other schools, like how difficult is it to recruit a Division III athlete? I mean, obviously every kid nowadays in the generation that we're living in is thinking that they're scholarship or it's scholarship or bust. How are you able to kind of, I don't know, differentiate, a scholarship player between a Division III player?
Yeah, there's no secret to it. I'm still learning it too. It's really, really hard, honestly. But you have to look at what it is that your school is going to attract and recruit. So Springfield, we're looking for a completely different thing than what I was looking for at Bates College, what I'm looking for at Farmington.
Right.
So I'll speak to just at least the Farmington piece. Look at our roster, and most of our players are from Farmington. For me to attract a student athlete from Massachusetts, Vermont, or New Hampshire, number one, I have to have a tremendous connection to that head coach where I can build up this really, really healthy relationship with the player I'm recruiting so that he can feel at home coming up here. And then secondly, if there is a person that's in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont, whatever, they need to be they have to be doing their self kind of recruitment, and where they're reaching out to me and telling me that Farmington is going to be a legitimate good fit. And for me to X out all these out-of-state kids that reach out to me, like the crappy ones that are just window shopping, chucking out all this stuff, is, hey, will you come on up for a visit? And if they're not going to come up for a visit and meet with us, then there's no chance that person's coming to campus. So I'm going to waste zero time with them. So I really focus in on who is it that is actually potentially going to come to Farmington. And for most of my efforts, it's going to be around these Maine kids that are seeking a small school that's affordable, and it's in a tremendous community. So what's really cool about Farmington is that you have this small school that's built right into the town. You don't need a car outside of just going home and back. Outside of that, you don't need a car while you're on campus here because everything's walkable. And I think we're the right distance away for a lot of these Maine kids, where we're an hour and a half to 2 hours from their home, so that they feel that they're far away but can easily get home to be able to do laundry and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's really hard, but as a coach, I'm going to focus exactly and all of my efforts to where it is that I'm actually going to get recruits from. And then start to pick and choose what it is that we need. And in this year's class, we really needed another couple stretch forwards, and we got two of them that are going to be perfect pieces to our returning players.
I like that. Is that what we're going with? What's our offensive philosophy looking like, Coach? Are you giving away some secrets on the pod or what? We're St. Joe's guys. We can send a message.
What I have so much respect for Coach Santacola is that he's continually changed it up based on personnel, which is really cool. So I think what they run right now is it's really fun to watch, and it makes it really hard for me to want to play man-to-man versus them. I know that. But I mean, the biggest thing is I need to – this year was a great chance for me to learn what we have for talent, and then adding these new pieces. It's going to continually be, as I kind of hear and see what this talent is going to be like together, then come up with a plan that best fits the talent, I think I'm not an old enough coach where I'm going to do exactly the same thing year in and year out, because that's my offensive philosophy. I'm going to understand what each of my different players do and what their strengths are and try to put them in those best situations. So no secrets here, I guess.
My question for you is, because you kind of brought up before, you played for Coach Meter, and obviously Julio and I played against him, a legend at Farmington. Won 353 games, and now you're the guy that's stepping in the shoes to replace, him. So, and at a young age, you got the job. I think you were like 27 at the time. Like, what is your thought process like going into this interview process? Obviously, you're an alumni, so you're familiar, but did you really think at the time, like, yeah, I got a good chance of getting this job? And then I guess the second part of my question would be like, when you got the job, did you ever feel like, damn, I'm a young, very young head coach, and that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I knew I was going to be, I felt that I was going to be one of the most prepared people interviewing for the job. I felt really comfortable with the people I had surrounded myself with that helped shape my portfolio and preparation and all of my interview strategies going into it. So I felt from a preparation standpoint, I was going to be very prepared and that I could put my best foot forward to be able to get the job. Now, in terms of replacing a legend, it's impossible. I just have to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't try to be what Coach Meter was as a coach. He's just such a tremendous and genuine human. Coach Maines over at Coney the other day goes, Coach Meter is the nicest man I have ever met. And he goes, there's no chance this new head coach, Coach Leal, is going to be any as close to as nice as what Coach Meter was. So I just have to be myself throughout the whole process. I think there's some rich traditions that I can carry on and continually try to meet with a lot of the alumni that he's coached and built great relationships with, because I want them to be our alumni, my alumni now going forward, So I'm going to just continually try to be myself. And I've been, like all coaches, just been a tremendous stealer of all of these different people I've worked for, and try to put together my own philosophy to be able to coach this team. And I'm constantly stealing. Like, two of the best podcasts that you guys have done that I've listened in on is obviously Zach OB. I just think what he does is an area that I'm still weak in terms of that player development stuff. I get so focused in on how do I help coach my players to get better in these roles that help our team win. Whereas I think Zach is so good at that off-season development in terms of just preparing these players to improve on their different skills, Mm-hmm. And I really want to keep learning in that area, because I think players really, really like it. They like that individual or small group focus in terms of the coach investing in me getting better, not just coach investing in me getting my role better.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
I think there's different points to that. And then Rick Gorman, I've never met him, but I've just heard the stories, and his podcast is terrific. And it just goes to show that when you develop a culture of working, part of my philosophy is that our players need to believe that working hard gets you better. Mm-hmm. And so just believing in that grind gets you better. And it seems like Rick Gorman has done a tremendous job of doing that people buy into this hard work, these things that we are doing. If you're here, you think they get you better. So building those type of cultures will be really some of my early goals,
I love that. Maddie, we should start getting like tips from everyone that talks about BST and Rick Gorman on this podcast.
We should get checks.
Look at that. You're marketing the shirt and now coach is talking about it. Like this is just call it the BST pod, fellas.
I got to steal some of your shooting stuff that you're doing, because
Coach
Gorman raves about your shooting tips, and my shot's not too strong, so I need to keep working on that. Like, how do I help coach my players to become better shooters? It's a hard skill, and so much of it's up here too,
we'll definitely connect with that. I've actually, since I've been doing it with him for the last like 3 or 4 years, I've definitely progressed. And the drills, when you first come out of college and I started doing the training stuff, I'm doing all the drills Santa Cola had us doing, at St. Joe's. That's all you really know. And then as I really started to research and look what else is out there, because how we all steal from each other. But I've gotten to the point now where I feel really comfortable with like I look at a 6-week program of what I'm doing shooting, and the way I start and end, I'm really trying to implement shooting actions on how kids will get in a game. Not all right, we're going to do 10 shots from this spot, 10 makes. It's more like, hey, this is the action we're doing, and you're going to get reps, of some type of dribble drive kick, coming off different screens, all that kind of stuff. So and again, everybody's offense that they play in is different, but I just got to try to get every kid. I think you made the point of this is like, all right, just because one program does this type of offense, the other one does that. It's not that I shouldn't work on a certain thing. I'm going to work on everything because basketball is basketball. Some people are still going to do an off-ball screen or a flare screen where, some programs, they don't do that anymore, where it's just everything's kind of dribble drive in space. So, we definitely can connect on that. I love sharing stuff, and I definitely, it's not like this is I created on my own. I definitely take I'll take a drill that someone has had, and then I try to modify it. Cause like I always believe too in shooting drills, I'm getting really off track with this because I love talking about shooting drills.
Good.
I think the one thing that I've created though is that I love is that when I do a drill, I try to make sure if there's 2 or 3 people in the drill, each person gets a shot in their rep. Cause you know how it gets when you do a drill and it's just you're in the line that's passing. You're probably not as engaged because you're not shooting or you're not getting a rep, where I try to make it so like, all right, you're dribble drive kick, and then you have to do some type of action because you're getting a rep too. So yeah, anyway, sorry to go off topic.
This is coming from the guy that had the ultimate green light his whole career.
Yeah, we talk about it every day.
Julio and I have to sacrifice, make all the plays for this guy.
But that's why I love both of you. If I play with you, I'd love both of you because you know when to give me the ball.
Sound like a true scorer, right?
Right.
Hey, Coach, man, it's been a great conversation, man. Thanks for all the gems and all the stuff you provided today, man. I'm hoping that you're giving us 5 stars on the pod since you're raving about us and the other pods, man. And
we just appreciate you listening.
Yeah, love is love. Basketball is always going to be like a universal thing. You know what I mean? We all came together through the game of basketball, and look at us all from 3 different areas. So it's a beautiful thing. Before we go, though, Coach, we got to let you go with a who or what. All right. The questions start off with what or who. And it's pretty random, so you kind of answer the way you want to answer it.
Right,
how's that sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What is your pregame ritual as a coach and player?
Pre-game ritual. As a coach, I mean, the number one thing is that I have at least mapped out the whole first half and what the game situation is going to look like. So the preparation just has to be very, very detailed. It's the number one way for me to kind of relieve my stress, beforehand. Even though I'm not going to, once the game starts, I know I'm not going to have any really effect on what actually happens. The players are going to win the game. But yeah, preparation is definitely number one. As a player, that was the same thing too. I was very diligent with my pre-game shooting routine. Pretty much the same thing every single game day. And I just think that's the way I've always been wired. So routine was getting in early, getting him shots before the whole team would come in, and then just kind of zoning in for the game. And the way I stay relaxed pre-game, both as a coach and as a player, is once all the prep work's been done, I surround myself with the different people that I really enjoy just conversing with to keep your mind kind of focused or off of the game, and talk about different ideas that we might try out,
Can I ask a quick question before Julio goes next one? Now that you've been a player and a coach, I always find this interesting. Are you more nervous before a game as a coach than a player?
Way more nervous as a coach.
It's wild because
it's unbelievable.
It's
even
crazy.
Even as an assistant coach, I'm way more nervous.
Oh, I mean, I was an assistant high school coach for 4 years, and I'll tell you, I've never been so nervous going into a game. I think it's because you don't have control. Am I right? You just don't. I mean, you do in a sense.
Yeah, and we just take so much pride in what our players do out there on the court.
Because it reflects you.
Right. And the one thing, though, look up Coach Lane from Wakefield High School, Hall of Famer. He did teach me one thing. I say this to my players all the time. And I just think nerves are so good because it means our players care. And it means that we care so deeply about what's going to happen. So he always echoed that to me pregame, and I'll always echo that to my players. Nervous?
Good line.
Hey, good. Go get them. Have fun.
I'm an assistant coach too at a high school, and I don't know what it is. I feel like for me, because I'm a super duper competitor and passionate about the game, it's like I just want to I just want to say, hey, we coach better than you guys. Like we're just better than you, right? It's like when you lose to him, it's just like like he just beat me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of for a second, for a split. I know it's about the players. It's all 100% about the players, but your ego gets involved a little bit too. It's like,
Of
man,
course.
my 2.5 hour, 3 hour practice are just as well run as yours. So,
Absolutely. So all of my pre-routines are all ways to make sure I'm fully prepared and comfortable, but then different ways to relieve the nerves or not show the nerves,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Who is one person that motivates you? Put him on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Because you don't want to hurt no one's feelings.
Yeah. I'm going to go with one real relevant to this season. Our senior, Nathan Violet, who is now in physician assistant school at down in Philadelphia. I usually think of myself as one of the hardest working players to go through the program. He absolutely outworked me, and just his consistency and dedication to the team and the program was just so top notch. So in terms of he motivated me to work really hard or provide opportunities for him during this COVID year, because I knew he was going to show up, and I knew he was going to show up early, and I knew he was going to show up and work his ass off. So when we were so restricted, he was something that was pushing me to continue to try to push the envelope as much as possible. So that was just I wanted to think about it for a second, and that was the first name that came to my mind is my senior, Nathan Violet. That was just so spectacular this year, and I wish he had a full season because he would have done great things with it too.
That's a great answer.
That's a great answer. That's unexpected, but great answer. What kind of music did you listen to before games?
I listened to country music.
Who we got? Talk to me. Who we got?
Luke Bryan,
Okay.
Kenny Chesney, Cole Swindell, Old Dominion. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm addicted to the country music.
Listen, I never listened to country music until I came to Maine. And
I know, I love it.
I'm glad I was introduced because it's good stuff.
I love Hootie and the Blowfish Baby.
Yeah, old school stuff, yeah. No, and the guys, like, when you're shooting on the gun, who's got the aux or whatnot.
Yeah.
I take the aux and switch over the rap to the country.
Who was the one player that you modeled your game after when you were a player?
Chris Paul, and I know it's even more relevant now, but someone that just was trying to find every little edge in terms of winning and finding every little edge to how he can make his teammates better. So Chris Paul would be the most relevant now, but the other two before him were Jason Kidd and Steve Nash too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always thinking point guard the whole time throughout my career.
We're not going to get into the point guard conversation, Matty, are we?
No, we're not. We'll save that for
We'll wait. We'll save it for later.
He loves J Kidd though.
Love J Kidd. Top 5.
I don't know if I like him too much as a coach right now, though. It's interesting.
No, I don't either.
Loved him as a player, but his and all we see as fans is just the sideline personality.
Spilling the water.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. Come on, it was smart. That wasn't smart. That wasn't smart.
Brilliant. Yeah,
it was.
But
you don't have any timeouts?
What's that?
He didn't have any timeouts. That's perfect. That's perfect, man.
It's crazy to think that now because there's so many extra timeouts anyways these days with the replays and stuff like that. I'm surprised he had to go to that extent for that.
All right, last one here. What is your ultimate goal in life?
I have to think of the next one because it was definitely coaching at UMaine Farmington. But as of right now, my near short-sighted goal right now is just to continue to learn and continue to grow and also win as a coach here at Farmington. So this is my goal is just being really, really great here and learning along the way. So my goal was to get here. Now I got to keep extending on that and do really well here. So.
I'm excited for you. It's pretty cool.
Thanks, Maddie. Appreciate it.
It was actually a trick question. I was trying to see if he was going to say something, but no, Maine Farmington is where you belong, Sam, man. Happy for you, man. Seriously, it's really good to see you on the sidelines. We're excited to see what you're going to do in the future.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And when you're coaching for a school that I had chosen myself, you speak to that recruiting piece. It's really, really fun to recruit for a school that you played for, because I once chose this place. So I'm recruiting kids that hopefully think a little bit like me,
It's awesome. It's culture, man.
Yes, it is, baby.
Well, yeah, Sam, we appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing your time with us. I hope I see you at the Noonan tournament.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Maddie. Thanks, Julio. And what do
No
they call
problem,
you? Ice?
Yeah,
The
only reason I don't like it, bro, is because Matty Ice is Matt Ryan, and I think he's not Ice. That's me, bro. I'm Matty Ice, not him.
Yeah, you're right, baby. We're not thinking about Matt Ryan. We're thinking about you, baby.
Right.
Hey, just stay true to yourself. And if nobody wanna help you, you can do it yourself. And if you live and impress others, that's how you losing yourself. And if you keep on running back, you just abusing yourself. Damn. I pray to God that you find your way. And when times is good, don't forget to pray. And be thankful for all the blessings that seem to come your way, cause that's how more come to you. That's all I had to say.